An express trip to Washington to try and find a way out of the now 3-year war. As well as speaking face-to-face, US President Donald Trump and French President Emmanuel Macron held online meetings with members of the G7. Meetings that Trump said were beneficial and necessary.
I will say this also, it could lead to World War III if it's not solved. There'll be a point at which it's not going to stop at those two countries. Already there's such involvement from other countries. And it could really lead to a very big war, World War III, and we're not going to let that happen either.
A few weeks is all it could take, says Donald Trump, who's set to welcome Volodymyr Zelensky at the White House within the next fortnight to strike a different deal.
More financial support.
He wants the United States to be granted access to Ukraine's minerals. Trump recently called the Ukrainian president a dictator, but on Monday refused to label Putin the same.
Mr. President, you called Zelensky a dictator. Would you use the same words regarding Putin?
I don't use those words lightly. I think that we're going to see how it all works out. Let's see what happens. I think we have a chance of a really good settlement.
As Trump shifts the gears, Macron's message to him was clear. Should his efforts to strike a peace deal succeed, it will need to include guarantees that Putin will not be able to reignite conflict, unlike what happened after Moscow's annexation of Crimea. These guarantees, Macron says, were the most important part of their talks. And the French president is confident that there's a way for the longtime allies to stand side by side.
There would be a peace deal signed by Ukraine and Russia, initiated by President Trump, and for which we would be the guarantors. So this means that should Russia break it, it would de facto come into conflict with all countries that took part in this peace process. There would be the United States' deterrence capabilities, Europe's ability to support Ukraine, and that's something that we will organize together.
Trump said he'd spoken to Putin about peacekeepers being sent to Ukraine and that Russia was open to the idea. Putin also gave his approval for European countries to be part of the peace talks.